The Toyota LandCruiser Prado has long been one of Australia's favourite SUVs. Now, well into its third generation 150 series, the Prado's developed a reputation for off-road toughness, family practicality and car-like refinement. The Prado competes with the likes of the Mitsubishi Pajero and the Land Rover Discovery, and while it sits between these two on price, there are also cheaper options like the Isuzu MU-X and Mitsubishi Challenger that also offer off-road ability and 7 seats. This one's the popular Prado GXL, which sits above the GX and below the VX and Kakadu in the Prado's Australian lineup. Over the base GX, the Prado GXL comes with 7 seats as standard, adds 3-zone climate control so those in the back seat can adjust the temperature, a grippier but not leather steering wheel, rear parking sensors and retractable side mirrors. All third generation Prados also carry a 5-star safety rating, and a reversing camera is now standard across the range. In the back there's plenty of room in the second row, and the 2014 model comes with a redesigned seat folding mechanism to make it easier to access the third row. It's still not as accessible as a Kluger, nor is there as much space back here due to the off-road focused chassis. If it's just the 7 seats you need, buy something like the Kluger. The third row seats do fold into the floor, and with both rows folded, you're left with a reasonably flat area to pack for those big trips. There's also a 3-prong power socket in the rear, which is handy for small car fridges and charging laptops, etc. This Prado GXL also has the optional diesel engine, plus the automatic transmission, but together represent the Prado's most popular drivetrain combo. The Prado's turbo diesel engine makes enough grunt to comfortably keep up with traffic, and works well with the 5-speed auto. It's not as smooth or responsive as some newer diesels, but it manages impressive economy for a 2.3-tonne vehicle. All Prados with a spare wheel on the back come with dual fuel tanks, which on the highway should get you between Brisbane and Melbourne without filling up. With the optional tow bar, the Prado's 2.5-tonne maximum tow rating may not match the 3+ tonnes of some rivals, but it's still enough to tow a reasonable boat or caravan. The Prado's off-road ability is well known, with a full-time four-wheel drive system and low range, generous ground clearance and great suspension travel to help it get through some pretty gnarly terrain. Also helping it to keep moving is active traction control, hill descent and ascent control, and a 700mm wading depth. Compared to the full-size 200 series LandCruiser, the Prado's smaller dimensions make it a lot more nimble in tight situations and less likely to rub up against obstacles. Many Prados never venture off the bitumen though, which is a hell of a shame given its off-road focus makes it less than ideal on the road. The tall body and abundance of suspension travel make for a significantly higher centre of gravity than a Kluger or other crossover SUVs, which tends to feel less stable through high-speed bends, and the separate chassis construction makes for a heavier, more detached feel. It certainly does the job as a daily conveyance, but the Prado's just not as composed as a Kluger on the road. It's certainly comfortable and refined, but just not as stable. Once again, if you just want 7 seats in your SUV, buy something like a Kluger. But if you're after a dependable, comfortable wagon that you can still take properly off-road, the Prado is still an excellent choice.